All right, we're officially streaming. Yeah. Nope. All right, clean. Hopefully it stays that way. All right. Michael Richards? Yeah, you can if you want. I'm not going to stop you. All right, cool. Here we go. All right, you guys ready? Yeah. All right.
This is the latest disclosure in a report from National Civil Defense Headquarters in Washington. It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life.
Welcome to Dead Radio.
We're not doing that.
How did she come to have sex with a dead man?
Don't call me Radio Unit 91.
You're a dead man. You're a dead man!
He's God here in this radio station.
Place where the dead speak.
Rebel Radio!
I'm a fake? Yes. How'd you like to be dead?
You ever think about doing radio?
My team is dead!
But you're not crazy. You're me. And this is just radio.
By the powers vested in me by the Federal Communications Commission, I command you to get on the microphone in a serious manner and continue this broadcast.
All right. Were you nervous?
Huh?
That it wouldn't come back in time?
No. I was just worried about fading it down from here if you didn't. I would have just sat quietly and waited, until they got really uncomfortable. No, I'm just
like Garth
sharing
in Wayne's World.
Sharing the show.
All right, episode 170. Wow. Welcome back, everyone. From last week, if you're joining us. All right, so yeah, this week in the studio, we have the Warp, the Weft. I finally got it.
Yeah, great work. I've said it wrong several dozen times. So let's just jump into why are you named that?
What is your problem?
Not enough bands out there with a /
Yeah. Not many. Yeah.
No, we met you guys at the Dark Side Bazaar. Actually, we kind of met you briefly at the end of the whole thing, and then the whole time you guys were playing, we were sitting there. We asked JB what your name was, and he said the Warp, the Weft, and I was like, that's not gonna stick at all. No way. And like throughout your set, him and I kept looking at each other like, Jesus Christ, this is fucking cool. This is weird. What's the name of this band again? The Wep, the Wiffle, and we just kept going back and forth, coming up with different W names for you guys. I'm sorry, it just had to be. It had to be done.
We jot down a few so we could.
So let's just get this out of the way. When I point at you, I'm talking about you right now, but this is better. If I point at you and I do this, that means you need to get closer to the mic. Yeah, so close as you can.
All right. So yeah, we kept asking, and then finally. I'm like, all right, the Warp, the Weft, the Warp, the Weft, the Warp, the Whiff, Warp. God damn it! And it just kept happening and happening and happening. But we got the name right, and then we came up, said hi, and here we are.
Well, we appreciate the invite.
Why is your shit not working all of a sudden?
Get on up there.
I'm kind of soft-spoken. Hello.
There he is. There he is. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, not at all. We're pleased you guys got in touch with us. Very cool, and we're happy to be here, man. It's a cool little setup.
Thanks.
Yeah, we watched that podcast from the Dark Bazaar, by the way.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was great.
The
Yeah, it was
very
cool.
disjointed.
Oh,
half of it's
what a
missing there.
fucking mess that
That's
was.
fine.
God damn it.
That was the first time we did live streaming remote. Like we've done remote podcasts, but with like a what is that? A Zoom H6 like little recorder.
Yeah.
And the quality of that is fine, but it's not as good as actually bringing a board and having, you know, multiple mics and stuff like that. So we wanted to do that, but I think that next time we're going to pivot a little bit and we're going to do the live stream, bring the board, but we're going to have out from the board into the input from the recorder, so we actually have a full podcast instead of whatever that was. you having to go, you had to go technical difficulties like 9 times.
Cool. It was cool.
Yeah, but we missed half of our interviews. You know, they were just conversations that did not get recorded.
Yeah, we
we
recorded with Strange Neighbors, and that didn't happen. It just kind of sucked, but I mean, you know, what can you do?
Next time,
I'm not gonna.
It's still it's a whole bunch of wizardry over there. I don't know how you make it happen.
Well, lots of wires. That's all. So I was reading up on you guys because I try to be good at my job, and you guys formed in 2012. Okay. And you've been going since. I know you had a lineup change. Trevor's the newest guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yep. They're stuck with me now.
But I went to the Crafted Cup. As you know, we both worked there at the coffee house on Raymond Avenue. I went there today to talk to the manager, and she's like, "Who do you have on the show?" I said, "The Weft."
The who?
Okay, I got it. And she's like, "What the hell does that mean?" I was just like, "Well, it's
You'll find out tonight when you listen to the show."
It's got something to do with what is it like? It's the
loom.
It's the looming. It's the warp is the vertical ones, and the weft is the horizontal threads to make fabric.
Yeah,
cool.
Which is kind of cool because it was like a yin and yang kind of thing, and that's kind of like seemingly what. I don't know. It makes sense with your music. Now, once I figured out what the fuck it meant, it makes a lot. It makes a lot of sense because the next question she had was, "What do they sound like?" And I went, hard, folky, psychedelic folk rock. Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, like," but I mean, that's what really grabbed my ear. When we were listening to you guys, it's this really incredibly unique sound.
Thank you.
And it was a lot of fun to listen to.
Awesome.
You know,
Glad to hear it.
I don't know. When I was today, I was listening to it when I was rolling a character for a Dungeons and Dragons game that I'm playing on Saturday.
Oh, nice.
And I was listening to your music while I was doing it, and it was fucking perfect. Fucking perfect. It set such a great atmosphere.
Yeah, all I
that
picture.
Makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense.
When I was listening to your music, I just picture him, like frolicking through the woods, wearing a lot of like green and leather.
Yeah, I'm picturing
That's
that
what I
right now,
picture. Yeah.
It's not LARPing. I'm sitting on a table with a pencil and paper. It's not that bad.
What sort of character did you roll? Like an owl, your paladin? What
Thank you for asking.
Yeah. Just curious, you know, like
I'm a
nitty gritty here.
half-orc Eldritch Knight fiiter. Yeah.
Nice, dude. Yeah. Wow, that's you don't hear that every day.
No, I tried to do.
No, you don't. 'Cause it's 2018.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Because we're 35. You definitely don't hear that every day. I'm not so much into D&D. Not because I disrespect it. It's just something I don't have any interest in.
Gotcha.
But it's a super easy thing to make fun of, which is fun.
No, it is. Yeah, my wife said she'd divorce me if I start again.
Yeah.
But
is she watching this right now?
I know.
His wife just wants him to be out of the house more. Wants to leave her alone. So.
Gotcha. Yeah.
No, you want to go leave here and do something that doesn't cost us money? Do that. Yeah, go do that.
Sure. Yeah. No, I'm just not supposed to bring it up. Like I can technically play. Like I can't bring it up in mixed company. You know, it's just like it's not the cool thing to like talk about at parties. I guess.
You'd be surprised, man. A lot of people play it.
I think it's great. No, and you're right. And it's like picking up more. There's a younger set of people like at work that are talking about. I'm like, what? Like, cool. Like,
yeah, the people I'm playing with. How old's your brother? 30?
Matthew's 32.
Matt's 32.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other two that we're playing with are like in their early 20s.
23.
Right. Yeah, so it's hitting it across the board. Yeah, I'm glad it's coming back. I mean, Yeah,
It's wild
it's
right
great.
now.
I
They
mean,
got fucking podcasts and everything. It's
really,
ridiculous.
yeah. I haven't really looked in much, but yeah. I mean, I loved it when I was younger, and like took up a great chunk of my youth. Like for good reason, kept me out of some trouble, and like I mean, I don't know. I'm a huge advocate. I think it's a cool thing.
I think he wants the details.
I know. Like,
I may want that.
This is actually only my second game.
Nice.
My second like session.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. No, it's fun with the right group, the right jam.
I had a feeling. I was just like, if I bring up D&D, one of these motherfuckers is gonna know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And you just have that sound.
Well, I got a couple of friends online that we don't see each other as often anymore, but they get together every now and then, and they'll play like a D&D session right on the web, and you can see your friends on the vid cams and everything. So it's cool to get together. Yeah.
Fun
Mortal
for me.
Kombat with
Not
a friend
great
in
at it,
Vietnam.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, well, it kept me from getting laid till I was like 20. So whatever. It's, it spared me from some VD or something.
So talk to me. I really am curious where the sound, where the theme, I guess the theme of the band kind of comes from. It's you don't have a ton of information on your websites about like what you guys, where you guys come from, the history of it.
I mean, really, if I may, it's like Shane's brainchild. I mean, you know, we're definitely a band all the way, but this gentleman is the creative nucleus of this whole thing. I was approached, I guess, 5+ years ago now. We were neighbors, and he dropped me a disc. He knew I played drums. We had chatted prior, you know, briefly, and you know, so all these songs were already put together, and he had already met with Chris, the guitar player here, Chris Pelnat, and it kind of piqued my interest. But you know, meaning to say, to this day, like it's still largely Shane's baby. He doesn't like me to say that, or maybe anybody. Like he wants to kind of just dissolve into the background, but in large part it is.
Any reasonable musician doesn't want to be like, yeah, this is my band. These guys are just here for the ride.
No, exactly.
They're on my leash, and I keep it short.
But yeah, I just want to give Shane props right off the bat. That's all. But please, someone else chime in.
Yeah, I don't think we're
someone else talk, please.
This is Chris. I agree that it's Shane's band. He writes the music. But I don't think we're on a short leash at all, because once he brings a song in, usually it's basically just an acoustic song. It's like Shane singing.
Right.
And we fill it out with our own parts, and we kind of develop the song, and it takes on a different life of its own.
That's true.
Yeah,
and
really
originally.
The form of it kind of takes shape with us just talking it over. What seems right, what doesn't, and Shane really doesn't tell people like, hey, I don't really like this. He just lets the flow come out, and if we feel the energy, then we know we've got a successful song in that moment. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's constantly evolving. Even stuff that we've recorded has kind of evolved a little more over time.
Yeah, I've noticed. I was going through your albums. I like to do that, just to like pick a couple songs and just see how it's changed a little bit. I feel like I think this last album moved a little bit away from the Celtic stuff, just slightly, ever so slightly.
Yeah.
A little more spacey though.
I can see
this
that.
one,
Sure.
And the album, the album sounds great too. The newest one compared to the old. Not to talk shit or anything like that. It's just this one sounds incredibly crisp.
I think it's our favorite.
Oh, that's really cool, man. Because that's been a growing process too. And the first one we did with the guy who used to play with us, Dave Anderson, can say his name. He used to play bass with us, and he was also really getting into recording at the time and engineering. So he took that project on with the first 5 songs, and then the second time he was more competent and comfortable manipulating all this stuff, and we were more comfortable as a band. So when the time came for the third one, he was even better, and we went to
So he recorded.
He's recorded all 3.
Yeah.
No shit. Well, that's kind of cool, because the progression is, like each album is like a leap forward of quality and sound. This latest one, bravo to him, man.
Give Logan a shout out. He just mentioned Dave, and he produced Logan's album as well.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
Old Logs Callahan. I don't know what an Eskimo album is, but you know.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
He's just
either.
speaking gibberish. Just ignore him.
Dave's a real sweetie pie, but Trevor's here doesn't have Dave's hair.
No.
Oh,
But-
I mean, who has
Who
Dave's
does?
hair?
Who
I
does?
mean, I don't think there's a man on this planet. But
So I'm assuming Dave's departure was,
Amicable.
mutual, amicable.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all-
No, it
great.
was
Thank
cool.
you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanks for giving me smart words, Adam.
He's your ad man. So, adjectives. There you go.
Well, that's
The one thing you probably noticed on the most recent record is that there's a lot more harmonies, and that's because Trevor, in addition to
Yeah.
playing bass, is also
That was
really
a
excellent
tremendous
singer,
Yeah.
addition.
so he adds a whole different dimension to the band.
yeah, absolutely. That that gives this kind of like almost spooky
Yeah.
Mhm.
sound to it, and I love it. I don't know. The first thing I heard was like Jethro Tull, and of
Absolutely.
course, because I mean, he's kind of like that staple folk rock band.
Oh,
he.
totally,
Why did I
yeah.
say fucking he?
Yeah, but-
That always comes out.
Jethro Tull.
I know the fucking
Jeth-
and
yeah, the
Ian
lead singer,
Anderson.
Jethro.
Yeah, that always happens. I don't know why, especially to me.
We've been called in the past cross between Jethro Tull and Pearl Jam. Was,
Oh,
I
all
think
right.
the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
best way of someone describing it to me anyway.
You
I
just
think that kind of clicks.
you just hit like a nerve with me at that, not a nerve, but whatever. But it just clicked
gonna
into
punch
place.
you.
Binaural, the last binaural Riot Act, those two albums that they did with Chad Blake.
Yeah.
He has that very kind of ambient, spacey kind of sound, and that makes sense to me.
No, that's right. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of influence from early '90s.
And Iron Maiden, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's got an Iron Maiden hat on.
I kind of love it all.
Worn your shirt
and I
too.
just,
Well, someone called you
I
guys
hide behind this.
before I joined up. Someone had said that you guys sound like pirate metal. That was
yeah,
another
there was a
description.
particular
Pirate metal is
track.
funny.
Pirate
Yeah.
metal.
There was a particular track that
Oh, yeah.
got that.
Was that Medicine In?
That's
Is that
right.
I was just
Medicine
about to say Medicine
Yeah,
In.
oh.
That's what I read. I read
That's a
that
fun
little
one.
article. And Medicine In sounds like pirate rock. I'm like, what?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been called a lot, or a lot of allusions made to other bands, and like Jethro Tull clearly is like maybe the closest to the mark. I'm not saying that's it, because nothing's it, but that maybe Fairport Convention, like there's influences, but there's definitely an early '90s thing as well, and I think that comes across to some degree. Just knowing Shane, his influences, my influences, Trevor's, Chris's to some degree. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's all I have to say about that.
Well, I heard somebody say something about the Mother Love Bone poster in the stairwell on the way
that's cool.
down.
I saw that on
Who
the
was
way
that?
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a lot of I wait for that. That's my favorite thing in the world. When people come down and they go, "Oh fuck, Mother Love Bone." I'm like, yes.
It's gonna be a good interview.
Wow, I was surprised to see that.
Yeah. Adam and I are like very big into the the Seattle scene, the grunge scene, if you will.
Yeah.
I got a little bit deeper into it.
Yeah, for sure, and that's the way you always are
I
about
went
things.
down into the muck and mire.
Yeah.
I found
just like I have a Brad album, but I've listened to it one time.
Yeah.
You know,
And meanwhile, I
that's
have
Yeah.
a Blood Circus album. I have Cracker Bash, Green River, Mudhoney, the U-Men, the Wipers, 7 Year Bitch, all those fucking bands from Hype and.
There's 4 of those that I've never heard of.
I just
or if I have, I
Yeah.
left my fucking brain.
Dead Moon, Posies. I just got into a long
Yeah,
conversation
gotcha
with Cameron from Plaid Nation Revival about the Posies. They just did they just played a concert that he went to. I'm like, those guys are like
Yeah.
30
I had
years
no
old.
idea they were doing it.
The band's been out for 30 years. I had no idea, and they didn't really have a huge following. So, well, good on them, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh.
I had no idea.
Is that where the main influence comes from? The '90s kind of alternative, or?
I say for me, probably quite a bit of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up on the border, up on the Canadian border.
Okay.
So we got mostly Canadian rock stations.
All right.
So it's a celebration of rock.
Yeah.
On that radio there in general that I got.
So a lot of Rush, a lot of Neil Young.
Yeah.
Don't forget Bryan Adams.
Oh yeah, Bryan Adams.
Celine Dion, Bare Naked Ladies.
Sarah McLachlan.
I could go all day. But it was when One Week came out that I really just the Bare Naked Ladies song. I'm sure you're
really spoke to you.
Oh no, that's
it's just
I
incredible.
knew that was really what hit it for you. Actually, I knew that. The Chinese chicken.
The
bro.
Chinese. That's right. The Chinese
Yep,
chicken.
Absolutely.
So
is there a band that's still playing today that one of their main influences is the Bare Naked Ladies? There has to be one.
No,
There's gotta be Bare Naked Ladies,
There's
right?
one
Or is
like
that-
hipster band in in Brooklyn or Harlem
Yeah.
now.
Wichita.
That they're like, all right,
Somebody's doing. Or there's an ad out
This is a cover
somewhere.
song.
There's a Craigslist ad somewhere. Like,
this is a cover of
Bare
one of my
Naked Ladies,
favorite songs.
Hootie, something. Yeah.
You see Hootie and the
somebody's
Blowfish, I could see. I could see there being a band that would play a bunch of Hootie and the Blowfish songs.
Yeah.
Like, and it would be partially ironically, but also so people are like, "Ah, fucking A, I love this song."
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
You
No,
play
it
a
was
Hootie and the
good for me,
Blowfish song, pretty much anybody our age is gonna be like, "Ah, that's great."
Hold my
Right.
hand.
Yeah.
That whole bar is singing that
Yeah, the
fucking
whole
song.
bar.
The
That's-
whole bar.
that-
But
no,
Bare
that is
Naked
true. It's
Ladies,
quite a
people are gonna be
sing-along.
like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" This fucking guy. And you get a fucking PBR can whipped at your head.
So the accent I detect in the music is Canadian, huh?
I don't know what to tell you.
I was less like, is this guy really fucking Irish?
He's from
or-
this side of it.
What's with the? I have to ask the accent because there's like it's there. There's like this. I don't know if it's part of this. Is
It's like an
Is it just
affectation.
come out?
I can't say that it's intentional.
Right.
Okay.
He doesn't even
Sorry.
hear it. He has no idea what you're talking about.
I feel it now, especially in a kind of a posed scenario where I'm supposed to talk, and then somebody asks me about, "Hey, you have an accent or something," and then I will want to lean into it a little bit, but I don't know.
Well, it fits the style of the music. I mean,
Well, it works.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like I was just curious when you came in. Hey, I'm Chris. I'm like, what? All right. I was saying, farty. That's what I was waiting for. No offense. I'm trying not to be a dick about it. I'm just like, it was just kind of.
No, it's all good.
I really do like it though. But is there like Flogging Molly, fucking any Celtic shit, Dropkick Murphys?
I mean, hey, I
Because
can't
it sounds
really-
very like the folk. You could say folk, but there's so many areas of like sometimes
Well,
you say folk and people think of Mighty Wind.
I really like Dead Can Dance.
Dead Can Dance.
Mhm.
Okay, never heard of them. No,
That's no. Well,
keep it.
Given the podcast, it might be interesting to you. But it's like a folk world sort of music, and they tie in lots of crazy percussion and just different sounds. But they have the guy and the lady who sing, or did sing. I'm actually not sure if they're still around. But they put out several albums starting, I think, mid to late 80s and then on through. But it's really, really fascinating stuff.
All right, did you write the name down for me?
Mm-hmm.
Dead Can Dance. Okay, cool.
I could point to maybe just because I know like you have an interest in like Richard Thompson. I could see that
Yeah,
a little
that's
bit
true,
too.
too.
Like
Yeah.
Fairport Convention. Another possible
Pentangle.
in terms of the slight sort of folk Celtic leaning or whatnot. Maybe.
Yeah, I guess.
But sorry.
Oh no, you can finish.
No.
your thoughts. I was just gonna say that I guess I've never heard someone like point it out, and there's something there, but for me, it's not so much an accent. I just hear something that's unique, and it's a lot of fun to try to mesh with it because,
Sure.
just
like
singing
creatively
harmonies
dealt
with
with
it.
it.
I want to kind of mimic it in a way, but not overpower it. I don't want to take away from
Right,
it.
right,
I need
right.
to blend in and
Just accent it.
It's just been really fun to kind
Yeah,
of mesh
I've
with
never
that
seen
sound.
it as an affectation. I think all singing is an artifice. Anytime you open your mouth and you're singing, there's an artifice going on. It's never actually
Yeah.
you. It's always like you're putting on this. You're
That's
acting
true.
in some way.
Talking
I think
longer
the
and
songs
louder.
That Shane, I think the songs that Shane writes, I'm not going to speak for him, but I think that's the voice that he hears it in. Probably. I mean, the words they flow in that manner.
Did I say Chris before? I called you Chris before.
That's all right.
I
I was
thought we were
just
talking
making
about
sure
this
that
guy.
you were talking about him.
That's a-
forgotten.
that's
I've forgotten all of their
That's a
names. It's
first for
fine.
me. I'm usually really good. I'm kind
Yeah,
of a savant.
it's the one thing he's good at. It's just the one.
Well, yeah. I mean, like I don't know, Jonathan Davis off the top of my head. He doesn't talk like he sings in Korn.
Yeah.
Certainly not.
No,
You know,
that's
it's just-
right. Yeah, there's an affect, like Chris is saying. Like that makes a lot of sense. Like I agree with that. Like
Well, man, it's an art form. You're creating
Right.
a thing.
For some reason, you're.
Should we go around the table
inspired.
trying to do that?
So I do have to give a shout out to Schmonty on the Two Unemployed Radio Guys podcast because he did what he thought it would be like if he did a folk version, like his solo stuff. Like he wished that it was like a folky kind of Americana stuff.
Ooh,
and
Jonathan Davis?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So he sang it, and it was hilarious. I'm not going to try and do it. Just check out two Unemployed Radio Guys podcast. You'll just have to find that episode. I don't even know which one it was. But, yeah.
But,
it's like, could you imagine that his music was totally different than Korn? Because it's probably not.
What are the real Chris here? Is it which one's Chris and which one's Christian?
Christian.
Chris. Where do you get your influence from? The guitar parts and everything like that, like flowing through.
I've been told that I sound sort of like the dude from Jefferson Airplane, sort of.
Okay.
Yorma, a little bit. I kind of have that psychedelic kind of melodic, but kind of to the point sound. But my musical interests are really, really wide.
Okay.
I listen to everything. I listen to classical. I listen to jazz. I listen to
70s porn.
70s porn. You got it? Yes.
That's just by way of.
It's like wine.
Just background.
Yeah.
Gets better with age.
Yeah. No, I listen to everything.
Because I picked up like a little bit of like Jeff Buckley's guitar player, Michael. I want to say Michael Ty, and there's another guy too that he played with as well.
I see that.
And that's kind of
fascinating that you said that.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of Shane's big influences.
Oh, really? Big Jeff Buckley fan?
Yeah, I love Jeff Buckley, and I loved his dad too, Tim Buckley.
Yeah. I'm not so familiar with Tim, but him and
I mean, I've listened to some of it, but
giant Jeff
only
Buckley
because
fans.
of the connection.
I could see
Jeff
that
Buckley.
tonally though, like referencing Chris's sound.
Especially on Grace, that album's got such
no, absolutely. They're all these like
has such
clean ambient tones, but sometimes they kind of grind a little bit and they move into a more aggressive space. Yeah, no.
You could be talking. You could be saying anything right now. All I want you to do is figure that out and open that bottle. Oh shit! I had something too. Oh yeah, the Jeff Buckley thing was like one of the worst things in the world. I remember my friend, he introduced me to it, and he's just like, "Oh, here, check this guy." I'm like, "Wow, this guy's amazing! Wow, what a voice! Holy shit, he's such wild! He's great." He's like, "Yeah, he's dead." I'm like, "You motherfucker! Why do you do this to me? Don't give me. I don't want to listen to him."
Still putting out albums.
Oh yeah,
it's fucking ridiculous. I'm like, why is this on this new compilation? This is the recording from Live at Chennai. Like, why is this on here?
Yeah.
But they just keep pumping out compilations of shit that he never wanted released in the first place.
Right.
Well,
I mean, like Live at Chennai, like he wanted that, but then they put it on a different compilation with a bunch of like crappy B-sides that was just him just screaming into a microphone, and then they put music to it.
He did a cover of Alligator Wine, but he did Alligator Wine, I think was the name of the song, and I think it was by who's the guy who did I Put a Spell on You.
I have no idea.
Wolf.
I'm gonna sit here until we figure it out. No, it doesn't matter.
You got a computer in front of you. You could look it up.
I feel like typing. It's too hot.
I know that's what you're saying. But.
I am glad you guys made it from the driveway to my door without dying of heat stroke. That's good
It's a hot one out there.
Tell me about it.
Christian, your influences, drumming and whatnot.
Well, there's what I like just musically, and then there's, I guess, drum influences, and sometimes it's a little hard to pinpoint. There are things that I don't even necessarily consider influences, and then later I'm like, oh yeah, like I guess I picked up a lot from that individual, and being pointedly asked that, I'm like, wow, I don't know, like I love Rush, I love Neil Peart. I'm not that drummer though, because I have one tom, so that's kind of out the window.
Ginger Baker only had like a 5-piece set.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, something very particularly like this week. I was just thinking like, wow, I never really gave this guy credit for being like an influence. And fuck, I can't think of it. Oh, I can say that, right?
You can say whatever the fuck you want.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
Just
But-
do it closer to the microphone.
Oh, cool. Yeah, but yeah, I can't. So I don't know. I don't know Nico McBrain, Joey Kramer, like jazz cats, like Elvin Jones, Al Foster. I mean, it just runs on and on. Jeff Beccaro of Toto fame, that I'm sure everybody here is like a huge Toto fan.
Fuck yeah. Africa? That's my
man.
shit.
Yes.
When that comes on the radio, windows down. I fucking love Africa. That song. I should say Africa.
It's a killer
I
song.
love that song. When it comes on, it's awesome.
So you don't love Africa?
Well, I mean,
The continent? You have a problem with the continent?
It's growing on me.
Toto. I meant Toto. I'm jumbling words.
No, you got it.
So Ferris Rider 79 says, "Screaming Jay Hawkins."
Yes, thank you,
thank you, sir.
Oh
Thank
God,
you.
that was troubling.
Screaming Jay
man.
Hawkins.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah,
to
I
pop
want to
up.
say that's the.
Yeah.
That might not even be his song. I don't know.
Does anybody know who this is?
Ooh.
Do we have like people watching that we don't know?
Ferris Rider 79.
Yeah.
Nope. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, sir or madam.
Mystery sir or madam.
Ferris Rider.
Or Zimzer, whatever. We don't want to gender you.
Honestly, I don't know if I've heard the original. I know the CCR version.
Alligator wine?
No.
Put a spell on you?
I put a spell on you.
Oh yeah.
Oh
it's
my
great,
God.
man. I heard a story about this. Like they literally, like he was, junk sick or something, or he was just a drunk. I can't remember what it was, but they had to hand him a bottle of whiskey or rum or whatever the hell he drank, to get through the session, and that was recorded with him stone drunk. And you should watch the video too, because it's bizarre, and it's over the top, and it's kind of like.
Yeah, he's got like a
old
top
school
hat,
horror
just like a
and,
witch doctor. It's like Rob Zombie directed the video.
Right, but it's what is it, 60 something? I don't know, whatever
60,
it is.
70,
No,
yeah.
it's great, and he's legitimately losing his shit on mic. That's the whole outro. I mean, it's awesome. If you haven't looked that up, somebody just
I'm not
do
familiar
it.
with this at all.
Oh man, it's
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Oh,
Yeah.
Screaming Jay Hawkins. It was. I looked up Alligator Wine. That is his song. I mean, I can't play it. 'cause
we
might
can't play it. We'll get
we get
booted
kicked
from
off of
YouTube.
YouTube. But
Right.
son of a bitch,
But,
what a fucking wacky dude he
yeah,
was.
and knowing that he was completely drunk makes it all the more enjoyable.
He's a real
Doesn't it
professional.
always?
It's like what is that? War Pigs too, by Ozzy.
Oh yeah.
It was like
Ozzy was
barely standing when he recorded that song.
Yeah,
Ozzy was drunk or high
assumed
for
it, but-
the entirety of his career. Yeah, I think he's clean now, but his brain's all mushy. So
Yeah, I question how clean sometimes. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he's on prescription something or other.
Right, he's got his meds
to keep him from not shaking himself to pieces. But yeah, he's anyway. That's just a sad aside, I guess.
Yeah, well, no,
to what
he's one of the
happened.
lucky ones, man. I mean,
Yeah.
he beat the odds.
Trevor, pick or fingers?
I use fingers usually.
All right.
One song I pull out the pick for.
Oh, and that reminds me, I have to apologize to my good friend Nick at Pitch Black Sunrise. He does play with his fingers. I
Okay.
watched the video the
He
other
doesn't
night.
use a pick?
He does not. So I was talking shit about him because he uses a pick, but he doesn't use a pick. He uses his fingers. So
That's fine.
Got long nails or something.
I don't know. I just I was watching the video. I'm like, hey, I owe him an apology.
Yeah, he's probably super mad at you.
Son of a bitch.
But
I never knew that was a thing. I just never knew.
It's
I mean,
it's a made
I never
up,
cared
it kind
either.
Of is a
but
made up
It was
thing,
something
right?
that I was pretty conscious about actually when I started playing bass, because I was playing guitar for a long time through college, and then right about the end of college, I was doing a co-op and I was looking for something to do in my apartment alone. And I grabbed a bass and started playing then. So I started playing pretty late, and I just told myself, I don't want to be the guy that everyone could say, yeah, he's a guitar player who's playing bass. I wanted to figure out how to do it play with my fingers and just kind of rock with the groove and see what I could do.
It's tricky. I tried to do bass line. I'm a guitar player, but I tried to do bass lines for the music that we, some of our joiner music and stuff like that. I try to play with my fingers. I can't do it. It's like my brain won't let me.
Someday
So I
I'll
gotta
learn
play with a
slap.
pick.
Slap bass is something I gotta pick up someday.
That's the funny thing
So-
about bass. I've always I started out wanting to be a bass player. I just stuck with guitar, but when you start hearing guys like Claypool and Flea and stuff like that. Like it's like there's fingers, and then there's whatever the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
No. What were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
Ferris Rider 79 is Lavina.
Oh, Jesus
Christ.
Hi, Lavina. Thanks for listening, as always. I felt it sounded like I was upset. I'm not.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Thanks a lot for listening. But part of my soul was like, oh, I hope it's like somebody I
just
don't
a
know.
random person in fucking Thailand or something like that.
Is this a person who changes the name every week?
Yeah. We want trolls. That's what we want. That's when you know you've made it.
What made you start playing bass? Like what bands?
I can't
guess
say it was a sound or anything, really, because I was looking for something to do. But
so you were just bored and you fell
yeah,
into
and
it.
I started playing bass, and I mean, I was writing my own songs. I was playing guitar, doing kind of an alt rock kind of thing. I was listening to a lot of like Weezer, Foo Fighters, Chili Peppers, and then started picking up bass and decided, like, you know what, it'd be nice to not have to write my own material. I can just kind of get into the groove section, and I really like it. And combining that with kind of the tenor notes, with Chili Peppers, I was obsessed with Frusciante's high melodies and things that he's singing in the background. So I love those squeaky notes that everyone's just trying to hit. So I like to try to bring that to the table, whether the guys like some of those squeaky notes. I guess it's up to them, but
I love them all.
Yeah, I try to bring that to the group.
Flea
squeak on, bitch.
Flea said in an interview that he was the most challenging guitar player he's ever played with, just because of the where he played on the fretboard and the melodies he came up with. He was just like, it was a pain in the ass to write a bass line around what the hell he was playing. So that says something. It's a good challenge to go for. What made you pick up guitar?
I've been playing guitar for many, many years. I've been in a bunch of different bands. Actually, a lot of them were sort of like alt country, Americana bands up in the Albany area.
Okay.
Believe it or not. And I've also done the kind of like classic rock band thing too as well. I've been in a bunch of different musical situations. I also do my own music as well. But I really wanted to be part of a band that does interesting stuff, and I really was glad to land in this one. There's just a lot of room to be creative and grow musically.
Yeah, it seems like that. Like I don't know. You can hear certain bands. You hear that you're like, all right, this is the structure of this song that they created, and then that's the way it goes. It feels like, and I know live it sounded a little bit different than the record, and that's not saying anything against it. It just like it seems like there's room to breathe in your songs live. And I think that's why it sounded so good live compared to the record. I think the record sounds great, but live we were like, this is like all over the fucking place. I couldn't wrap my head around it just because it was so weird.
No,
it's great to, it's great to hear something new that isn't what they're calling alternative nowadays. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what is it all? Indie pop now?
I guess, that's what we want.
A lot of that. But no, I'm happy to hear you say that, because like I think we are a live band. I've been wanting to do like a live recording of something of like some sonic substance.
We can do.
Here's your fucking chance.
Yeah. No. I don't know. Well, no, thank you.
Always wanted to do a live band.
No, these guys will shine. I'm going to play a snare drum and a cymbal. But
well, I'm
no,
saying like in a live
out of the
concert type performance, we're talking about doing some like video, audio, live stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a lot of that around here.
Yeah, I love that. That's
so if we can kind of make that our niche,
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, we would love to.
I think.
It's only taken us 6 months to get to editing our last thing that we did, but they aren't paying us.
Yeah.
They're not paying us.
That was
so,
for free. So
we'll
get to it.
Yeah, someday. Hashtag Womb of Nations.
We're 37 minutes in.
Yeah, let's set up for some music.
Let's set up for some music. It's I like that. It's just how it goes, man.
So for all of you who are listening to the download that haven't already paused it to listen to their music, you're about to check it out.
Yeah. So anybody listening, if I'm gonna play Mapping in an Absence.
Cool.
Jesus. I gotta get with it. I'm usually a lot better at this shit.
Get off the drugs.
That's one of my earlier songs, actually, when I was still playing D&D. Back in having an abstinence.
You guys are also playing at the Anchor in Kingston, a favorite of ours.
Yeah, fantabulous.
On July 27th.
Yeah.
And also the O Positive Festival here in Poughkeepsie on August 4th, which I have to fucking check out, especially if you guys are playing, you know. Last year it came and went, and I was just like, so what was this O Positive thing? And they're like, it was like this crazy band thing. You weren't there? I'm like, So, yeah, now I definitely got to check that out. But,
Nice.
yeah, this song is called "A Welcoming of Owls." It's weird as shit, and I love it. So we'll play that, and we'll get geared up, and I'll have to mix on the fly, so don't panic.
It's good.
I also want to say, YouTube, come on, man. Why are all the emojis Caucasian?
Yeah.
What's
the deal?
Yeah.
No, there's like a separate,
I like to culturally appropriate a black thumbs up once in a while.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
And a non-binary character would be nice too. Fuck.
They're just clear.
All right. We'll be right back.
Back on what I said. These long hours with arms raised to your chandelier, dusting its crystals. The moon now cradling a star, it will have been a welcoming of ours. One last night, siphoned from endless day. Unnotable you'll fame, plowing so. The next morning I'll grow rich with dirt and tread. These long hours with arms raised toward the coming year, all rust in the cistern. The moon now cradling a star, it will have been a welcoming of ours. One last night, sweet as the last old day. This lever down, son, this rabbit's yours. never so hard won or bruised and sore. The skin and the bones aren't the meat, not the blood of the hunt, victory and defeat. Life in a fog and the dogs are bound tonight to an engine dead and unloved in the downspout, we save the rain to irrigate the greens, the fruit and the grains. With the snapper down sun, the farm is yours. The sluggish land will bear more than ever before. In a fog and the dogs are bound tonight to an engine dead and unloved in the
Hey, this is Vinny from the band Sponge, and you're listening to Dead Radio Podcast.
All right. This is going to be some interesting shit.
At least it wasn't on the computer this time.
Yeah. Who's buzzing?
It's probably me.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You guys want... You want me to turn the lights off? Get it really weird in here?
No, because then I can't record anything.
All right, so we're back with the Warp to Weft, and we're getting geared up to play some music. Oh man, that fucking thing. That's too bad. Oh well.
What? It's just.
What?
It's
You
just
hear it?
interference. Yeah.
Yeah. It's from the lights. I never thought that would be a. That's kind of cool, actually.
Maybe sit down. Yeah.
We can use that.
Oh no.
You're not in frame of the video.
You'll be
anyway,
fine.
so-
It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. All right, yeah. So let me see that guitar. Can you hear that bass, please? Sounds all right to me.
Yeah, we know. Everything down here is kind of hacked together.
Vocals. Guitars here. You hear that guitar again? There you go. All right. So, yeah. Sorry if I'm gonna be mixing on the fly. So
Yeah,
you know, sorry if it bothers you.
No.
I think you're better standing.
No need to apologize.
All right. Sorry, man. Duly noted. Gotta figure out a way to ground them. All right. So.
So LEDs don't work. Fluorescents don't work. We just gotta go to incandescent lighting.
Yeah. Wonderful. So yeah. What do we play? They all looked at each other and like, all right. So what are we playing? Before we started. So what are we playing, guys?
That's it. I think we're gonna try to play Medicine In. We don't often do a stripped down sort of thing, so
all right.
We're sitting, so this will be fun.
We're sitting, so we're just gonna go with it.
All right.
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
Ready? All right.
White tiles, cerulean door frame, a first floor apartment with views of the war. Stereo sound, the old pipe and drum corps. A treaty signed to resign to treat the lame. handful for doubt. Take the medicine out, put the medicine in. One pill for clarity, a handful for doubt. On a summer table, juices rivering toward the linoleum floor, bypassing the nose, the lips, the cold sores. And what about time when all time ends in a day? One pill for clarity, a handful for doubt. Take the medicine out, take the medicine out. Take the medicine out, put the medicine in. One pill for clarity, a handful for doubt. Take the medicine out, take the medicine out.
Oh shit! That was pretty fucking wild. That sounded great.
Thanks.
Yeah, that was really
Cool.
cool, man. You're tuning. Okay. I was trying-
play another song.
That was Medicine In, right?
It was called Medicine In.
Right. That was off the second album.
This guy, boy.
I try. I do my
Incredible.
best.
Does his homework.
Incredible. Yeah.
Especially if it's easy to listen to.
Do you want us to?
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
going?
If you want to keep going, sure. Or you want to talk about the song? Why, Medicine In? What's it about?
I can't say for sure. Anyway, I'm probably not going to be very good at those questions.
Just kind of like I was reading some of the lyrics too. It's like it seems like it's more imagery, kind of storytelling in a way, kind of like in a very folk kind of way.
I like to write poetry, or at least I used to
Mhm.
enjoy writing poetry, and I started in grad school in a poetry program and then left it, and most of what I had became songs,
Mhm.
and then just kind of kept writing little bits at a time and sort of pieced them together. So
Sure.
what we have right now, sometimes some things are clearer than others, maybe.
All right.
But
Sounds
that's
like poetry to me.
Yeah, it's actually ruined like mainstream music for me because I listen to the lyrics and I'm just like, man, it doesn't have anything on what Shane's writing.
Yeah, that was the thing. When I was reading the lyrics, I was just like, man, this has got like some Tolkien kind of like feel to it, and you know, a lot of the bands once I'm like, that sounds cool, and then you listen to the lyrics and you're like,
Right.
But yeah, the lyrics are powerful. They tell a story. They paint a picture, and
Cool.
that's what it's
I
all
like
about,
the-
man.
I
I
like
love
You've
it.
said it
image idea.
before. Like Clutch has ruined us on.
Yeah,
bands with
Clutch is the
shitty
band
lyrics.
that really fucked us up because that guy writes about all the like wildest shit. But actually, yeah, lyrically very similar too. Anyway, what's next? I'm excited.
Is there one that you see on the album and you just want to say, hey?
Oh,
try this?
oh, geez, my I had
taking requests.
I had a couple here.
dog.
On the newest album, I liked Blood of the Hunt and Nebula.
Okay.
On the older album, I liked, or the middle album, I liked Feckless Fancy, and also Honey for the Bears. I thought was a cool one. But you know, it's up to you guys too.
Cool. All right. What do you want to try?
Grabbing dripping beer like down my entire.
You are. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Can't take you anywhere.
What do you want to do? Of those mentioned.
Let me.
Well, let's do a blood of the Hunt.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I was like, he don't know how to play this fucking song, does he?
Is it possible to get a little more bass in my
Yeah.
headphones?
I
Maybe
just
not.
give you
This
more.
is
Just more bass. Play some more.
This is it. This
I
is
just want to make
snare
sure.
all the time.
Yeah, it's a little more than I had before.
All right. What say you?
Yeah, no, that's good. Let's do it.
With the Slava town sun, this rabbit's yours. Never so hard won, or bruised and sore. The skin and the bones on the mate, not the blood of the hunt. Victory and defeat. Life in a fog, and the dogs are bound tonight to an engine dead and unloved in the yard. With the civil down spout, we save the rain to irrigate the greens, the fruit and the grains. With the Slava down sun, the farm is yours. The sluggish land will bear more than ever before. Life in a fog, and the dogs are bound tonight to an engine dead and unloved in the yard. Life in a fog, and the dogs are bound tonight to an engine dead and unloved in the yard.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Cool. I think that. Okay.
That was wild. Sorry about the guitar part there. I was just trying to find a happy medium for everybody. Oh, that sounded great, man.
Thank you.
Really cool. Yeah, there's like I said, it's just like
all I can hear out here without headphones in was just drums. So I'll take your word for it until I listen back. Yeah.
Christian's back.
I'm back. I came back. I needed a beer.
You had to get creative on that song, right? Because you just had the tom. I was thinking
did.
about it. I was
mean,
like,
you can-
oh, how's he
yeah,
going to start?
As you can probably see on film, like my feet are pounding away at concrete
nothing?
in weird ways.
Hear that bass.
Looking, you know.
Is there a Valentine in there? May I have a Valentine? Thanks, buddy.
So why don't real quick hit the bumper, Bosh.
All right, let's do it real quick.
Anybody else need something? No? It's What Are You Drinking? So we'll just do a real quick one since we'd like you guys to play one more song if you'd like to.
Yeah, I'd love to get a third, but yeah.
Yeah.
We do a little segment on this show called What Are You Drinking? With Adam.
Usually just with Adam. Ryan's not a big drinker, and if you didn't know, he has the celiac disease. so you can't have the scary gluten.
Was this for me?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, he can't have that.
Take that back. I go to the hospital if I have that.
Oh, we could have brought us ciders.
Well, I have
You
a
got
cider
something.
here, and
Oh,
that's
sweet.
what we were kind of going into. Down East cider. Is this still
It's
the
the-
unofficial cider, or are we on bad seed now?
I think it's Bad Seed is the unofficial cider now. I really still like Down East, but this tastes like pineapple juice.
This is great.
It's delicious. It's delicious.
Like
it's so
juice.
sweet though.
Conflicting
Like you
opinions.
could give this to somebody and say this is just pineapple juice, and they would drink it and they would get fucking hammered.
And you just laugh.
That's great.
Yeah, but it's wonderful. I also spilled it all over right before you guys started playing. I'm also drinking Hell or High Watermelon.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the wheat beer from First Amendment Brewery, and it is fantastic.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one in this heat.
Yeah. It also comes in a 15-pack, which I love that they're just doing that. And on the box, it just says, like, why the hell not? It's just like three more beers. Like, why wouldn't you want 3 more? Yeah, so I love that they're doing 15 packs now. And it's reasonably priced and fantastic. I've never had a bad beer from this brewery.
This Down East pineapple shit is awesome. I love it. This I could drink an entire 6-pack in one sitting, and it'd be a terrible, terrible day for me. But you guys brought Ballantine Triple X,
King of beers, baby.
America's largest selling ale, which I don't know what that
doesn't really
means.
say anything. Just doesn't mean it's good. We just sell a lot of it.
Means there's a lot of
No, it's good.
drunks in
It's like old guy beer. It's it's like
Jesus.
no. He
No,
said
it
it. He said it too. He's like it's like your grandfather's beer. It's like fucking,
Rheingold extra dry.
Yeah.
Or Stroh's.
What was the example that you get?
Schlitz.
Utica Club. It reminds me of Utica. I have a Utica Club sweatshirt. I love that fucking brewery. They got really good, because there's no bullshit. It's just like, this is beer that we've been drinking since 1930.
That's right.
It's really good shit.
They
So
haven't-
I enjoyed the Ballantine that I drank earlier. And coming up after the next break, I'm going to review Westkill Brewing, because I feel like we need to give this what they deserve.
It's due.
Because it's fucking spectacular, and I want to talk about it, and I don't want to step on your music to do so.
Who brought the bells?
It's all good.
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah.
That was the first beer by Bell's I've ever had. And it blew my fucking mind. I had it in Washington,
great.
D.C.
Yeah.
because they weren't distributing to New York then at the Regional Food and Drink.
Yeah,
and oh my God, they had it on cask.
It's
Yeah.
a great.
I've had Bells on cask at Beech Tree. Yeah. Fantastic beer. It's been featured on the show many times. So I'm
believe
glad to see people bringing real beer and fun beer and normal beer, and instead of just like, so I just stopped at the store and
They told
this
me
is what they had.
I got this Sam Adams seasonal. Is it any
Yeah.
good?
Probably not. No. There is also a Zima down here if anybody's interested. We got one
shit.
left.
What? Oh my God, that takes me back to a time I don't even want to mention.
99.
Wow. No, like farther back.
D&D.
Yeah, he's true.
D&D,
Fucking
those are the-
D&D and Zima.
Those are the D&D ages. Yeah, that's his.
Oh shit! All right, so if you guys want to play one or two more, I'm fine with that.
I wasn't trying to write out ampersands, but I
no,
want
no.
you to use ampersands if
Yeah,
that's.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely play another one.
Cool. Yeah, what are we thinking here?
We could. Do you want to try Nebula or Honey for the Bears?
Honey for the Bears is more straightforward.
Okay.
I mean, that's just one opinion.
It's a driver. I picked a lot of I wrote down a lot of drivers. Like I was just like, yeah, great.
All right.
That's just my nature, though.
Is that cool?
Yeah, no, we could try it. There's a lot of punctuation in that song, though. It's not gonna.
Yeah, but you're a professional.
Well, the truth of it is that we've never done any of these this way.
No, exactly. Some of them work clearly. I should have just. Well, no, the bass drum might have overwritten it.
Should have got your cajon. Gotta get one of those cajones. That's what all the kids are playing nowadays.
You're right. The kids love
I'll try to make one of those this summer. I think that would be a fun little project.
There you go.
Can't be too terrible, right?
There's not much to it.
Yeah. You look at my guitar. That thing
Snares in
still
there?
plays, and it's got a radiator strap around it. You can do anything. And Gorilla Glue on the top to keep it together.
That's awesome. I've never seen a radiator strap that big.
Yep.
It's huge.
I just kept it. I like the flare. Anyway. Okay.
Oh, well, we'll give it a shot, and if it goes well, we can try another, and if it doesn't, then we...
You can try another.
There you go.
We internalize the burnt orange of the autumn hillside. It's hard to vocalize the dying language of the modern beehive. Darling, with your tongue distended and marring mine, your tongue distended and marring mine, your
up
distended and
Where are we there?
marring mine.
There it is.
Those honey swells, peals of bells, or sidewalk laughter. We've come to publicize the sweet pageant of our own hereafter. Darling, with your tongue distended and marring mine, your tongue distended and marring mine, your tongue distended and marring mine. I'll call up the...
I swear you're off by a fret.
Is it me?
I think so.
I'm
or
sorry,
I'm very
everybody.
out of tune on one string.
It's. I was like, I don't want to be, because I'm no pro, but. I love this. This is very real. This is my favorite thing. Did I fuck that up or did you fuck that up? I'm pretty sure I fucked it up. No, I fucked it up. You guys are actually very polite to each other, which is nice to see. The last band we had here just was constantly breaking each other's balls and calling each other gay. It was terrible. I felt so bad.
They're all gay, by the way.
Well, that's interesting. I could swear it starts there, but maybe it doesn't start there.
You want?
Huh? And now I see. I'm sorry, it was my fault.
Sorry.
I'm
sorry.
still in the band.
Sorry.
That's
sorry.
good.
You want to give it one more
Yeah,
try?
wait, because the first part was correct. That part was not. That's correct. I'm sorry, everybody. Look, it's
Yeah,
just,
no,
here we
it's
are.
fine. Do it.
It's all good.
Alice in Chains fucked up their song, fucked up one of their songs in the middle of a live recording of Unplugged. So whatever.
Okay.
We internalize the burnt orange of the autumn hillside. It's hard to vocalize the dying language of the modern beehive. Darling, with your tongue distended and marring mine, your tongue distended and marring mine, your tongue distended and marring mine. Those honey swells, peals of bells, or sidewalk laughter. publicize the sweet pageant of our own hereafter. Dawning with your tongue distended and the marring line, your tongue distended and the marring line, your tongue distended and the marring line. I can't call up the words. The sound of a city-eyed desiccant form balladry, mendicant coins on the eyes, answering, sitting on matters they're landing, bring out the runs we can.
Yeah, fucking rock on. That song really caught me off. That was one of the ones that really stood out to me when I was building my character. I was like, what the fuck is this? I'm going to kill so many orcs.
We're really in this to make songs that build character.
There you go. Oh, gee. I feel like there's something on my tongue after that. I don't know about you, but I'd love to hear another one. I don't know,
Yeah,
because
let's
that one's a shorter one. So play, so monkey, play.
We have a.
You got anything new going on?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I didn't know. I don't want to step on you if you had an idea of what you would prefer to play, but like we'd love to hear a newer song.
Just so you can play this bumper.
Preferably one that you haven't played before.
One that we've never played before?
Haven't played live?
Wow.
You got any ones that you're working on? I'm not. No pressure, man. Don't like. I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
It's an interesting proposition. We have several things in the pressure cooker right now, and it's just kind of we haven't really.
Yeah, we have almost a whole album, I think, ready
Whoa.
to put down. We
Yeah.
were just talking about it the other day.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there. I don't know. Is this something you guys want to try?
I think.
Yeah. What do you guys want to play?
What was that song? The Ever Present is the closest one to Prime Time, I think. If we're going to play one of the new ones, but I don't know if we need to do that. But it's up to you.
I get, all this is uncomfortable for me.
For those who couldn't hear, he just said, well, all of this is uncomfortable for me.
Oh, shit. That's hilarious.
What did we just play? Do you have your slide?
Yes.
Can we do what we ended last rehearsal on? Freaking kicked ass when we played it.
It's just a matter of opinion, man.
You started out.
Weather Vane Horse.
Weather Vane Horse, yeah.
Yeah, it's not new, but it's...
No, I know that. Yeah, I know that one. Yeah.
Weather Vane Horse.
Yeah.
It's a good ender.
You guys can hear me enough so I can start this?
Yeah, no.
There you go. All right, man. Whenever you guys are ready. Here he goes.
stronger than the love in your parents' house. So I need not mend my love, dear townhouse, love, country mouse. I hear above the ridge the soft cannon cloud move to fire. I hear the weather vane horses on all points, but they smile. La 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 la. Like a wolf to clean a young. My knuckles are white on the wheel. The ice is unsettling. Oh my, here is my bow which has been given up. Instead of running godlessly, somber retreats into myself. Dear forgiver, in dreams I bow, I fire a rise on all engines rip I mistake myself for oil on axles undefined. But I rise, swing from light to hail to hail. Oh, I can't just cling to everything. I lay to rest these barren trophies, pointless spears, an expansive pink, your cage of sky.
Holy Moses. Well fucking done, guys. Awesome. Very good.
Thank you.
Jesus Christ. It looked like you were going to pop a vein in your forehead or some shit.
I kind of felt like I was. I'm not usually so constrained with the headphones.
Nah, the intent. I love the intensity, man. You guys have this, like, I mean, you lull people into a false sense of security, and then you just fucking smash them over the rocks at the end of the end of the song. It's awesome.
We're sirens.
All right, so how about we take another quick break and get buttoned up here and back into comfortable positions, and we'll talk a little bit more, and we'll be out of here.
Cool.
How's that sound?
Cool.
All righty.
Sounds
Good. Goody gumdrops. In the meantime, listen to Nebula.
links and chains there below the belt, or soft lights of an airplane mistaken for stars. This could be their first moment together. After years alone, it seems hard for bones to muster instinct. Pleasure hardens like baking soda stones, insufferable. He holds a warm palm to her cervix, through to dawn. A gross big throng, scavengers, dangling clusters of sewage. A gross big throng, scavengers, dangling clusters of sewage. At first blush, your winter sky was all stars. Backlit full moon filled your bell jar. By morning with thrush song the workday. Cover up for crow's feet and hot hay. Undone by alarms in the night. summer romance and winter cold. Moaning doves moan along the fence line of white oak and white paint against white pine. Undone by the lambs in the night, the fireman blows them down with the house, a charcoal dream against the sky.
This is Adam from BC Kitchen, formerly known as Baby Cakes, and you're listening to the Dead Radio Podcast.
That was a good choice, because now we don't have to play the What Are You Cooking? Yeah! Yeah!
All right. Jesus, I can't hear myself. All right, we're back again after a quick break. Clean up. Shit roadies and interns are supposed to do. That we have to do our goddamn selves. We're back with the Warp and the Warp, the Weft. If you guys want to check them out, they're playing July 27th at the Anchor in Kingston, New York, and also August 4th at the O Positive Festival in our hometown of Poughkeepsie. Wonderful. Down at the water, they doing
Where's
it at the
that one?
waterfront? Is that a waterfront gig? I can't remember.
No, it's not waterfront. I believe that most of it's happening along the Middle Main stretch.
Oh, yeah. They're trying to build up the First Friday kind of thing. They might maybe that vacant
I think it's
spot.
at Crenell, where the chance is at that spot.
Yeah, you know there's like that lot there where there's the murals.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. There's that vacant lot. Yeah. All right.
That is right across the street from the Chance, right?
Yes.
No,
No,
Chance is further.
No, they're
further.
moving it.
It's across.
It's the Crenell spot, right? The upcoming. Oh wait, you we talking O Positive or
Yeah.
First?
Positive.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking First Friday.
I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, now
I don't know. Nobody knows
I'm
what's happening.
completely fucking confused. And that's it.
My bad. That's all.
I don't think we have all of the details of the O Positive stuff yet.
Just
but
Google it.
No, that's true.
Just Google it. You're
Yeah, we
listening
can
to
do
this
that.
on your phone. Take your phone and look it up.
But this is the second year that it's in Poughkeepsie, and I'm really cool that it's moved here.
Yeah.
It's been in Kingston for a number of years. So.
Oh,
Absolutely.
it has.
Yeah.
Yeah, because was it last year? Did it start?
Yeah.
Was it here in last year?
Last year was its first year in
Yeah,
Poughkeepsie.
that's what I thought. Okay, volunteers are needed. I'm not going to go through this entire thing. There's a million friggin' things going on.
What's the date on that? Is it
August 4th.
Yeah, is that
yeah.
a Saturday?
It's a Saturday.
All right. I will.
Or no.
I
The
will see
4th
what-
is a Sunday. 3rd is a Saturday, I believe, because it's an all-weekend thing.
Oh, all right.
If I'm
I'll
not
do
I think
mistaken.
the
I'll do my best.
Fourth
to be
is
there.
a Saturday.
Yeah.
Fourth
You
is
guys,
a Saturday.
you
Yeah.
guys did know that you were going to that, right?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so. We
Just
don't know
wanted to
where
make sure.
we're playing just yet, right?
No, we don't have that detail
Okay.
yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the new album's newish, is Mapping an Absence. It's on I don't know the warptheweft.com, or you can check it out on Bandcamp, thewarptheweft.bandcamp.com. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Before we leave, because we're going a little while.
We are not going to forget plugs this time, right?
No, we're not. We're going to do plugs.
We forgot every fucking time.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to talk to you guys. I always like to ask bands this question. It's a pretty simple question. I'm going to go around each of you guys. We'll start with Chris here. What was the first album you ever purchased for yourself?
Oh, I can answer that. It was a vinyl version of Apple version of Revolver.
Ah, the Beatles.
Yeah, mid-70s
Wonderful.
Apple instead of the Capitol, but yeah,
Uh-huh.
still.
That's actually the one Beatles album that I don't mind. Not the biggest Beatles fan, but that album's pretty fucking amazing. Shane?
I'm confident that it was REM's Out of Time.
Son of a bitch.
Good one.
Sorry.
That's a good,
No,
yeah.
you said REM. I'm like, yes, they sound a little bit like REM too.
You're just pissed that you didn't get.
Yeah,
you
because
didn't
like
pick it up.
sometimes I listen to shit and I'm just like, it's like wine. You're like, what the fuck is that
And,
flavor?
yeah,
and they're
and
like,
someone's
tastes
like-
like cinnamon. You're like, shit.
Just like getting notes of papaya, and you're like, you fucking cunt. I wish I knew that. I wish I'd picked that up.
So REM, all right. Trevor?
I think mine was Dookie Green Day.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, if we were talking about cassette, that would be my first one. Yeah,
That was
so-
one of the first for me.
Yeah. Well, I bought Green Day Dookie on cassette and Aerosmith's Greatest Hits on cassette the same day. So I couldn't tell you which was processed first. But those happened in the same day.
Here's a good question. Did you buy it yourself, or did your mom and dad or dad have to buy it for you?
I think that was my purchase.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
But my first ever album given to me was Human Clay by Creed.
Oh!
Yeah.
Well, that's not your fault. It was
No,
given to you.
it was a gift.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
made
I
my-
own that album because I was a dumb child.
That made my butthole
What's
pop.
What? At some point, I traded that into Media Play when I was 16. Yeah.
Can you sing part of one of the hits from that
No.
one?
Oh, that's
Arms
Hires on there.
There's Hires on that
Arms wide open.
Arms wide open.
Yeah, so I could. Yeah. Yeah, that's the definition of butt rock,
That's
Julia. Julia, that is butt rock. Pearl Jam is not.
Christian?
You know, I can't remember the name of it, but whatever the first Rob Thomas album was. No, I'm joking. I'm totally.
Especially
not Matchbox 20,
I'm
but
sorry.
his first
Yeah,
solo
no,
album.
Solo. I mean, it was a little later in life.
It was like 11 years ago, the first album that I bought.
I wasn't
11
so
years
into
ago. It was
music.
2007.
That's when I felt compelled rather, to buy an album. No. Like yourself, Adam, it was a double thing. I went to Super Stuff on Long Island, along Hempstead Turnpike there, and I bought Pink Floyd's Momentary Lapse of Reason and Rush's Hold Your Fire on the same day, on my birthday, and it was a gift that gave me such wonderment for many years to come. And
What's on Hold Your Fire? Like any singles that I would not. I can't place.
Time Stands Still, I guess, is the biggest
Okay.
track off of that. It's a cool album. I mean, you know, they got more synthy and whatnot.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Yada yada yada. I mean, I knew of Rush from my older bro and heard everything prior.
At least it wasn't Presto or Roll the Bones.
Those are great albums. They're great
Says
albums.
you and only you.
Everyone was like, no. Presto's when they came back and got heavy again. Brendan, I'm sorry. Counterparts is Brendan O'Brien. But prior to that, they did. They stripped it back. Presto was the first one they took out all the keyboards and the bullshit.
And
it's kind of
very
heavy.
synthesis. I wrote
Synthy still.
pesto.
No,
a delicious basil pesto recipe.
No, Neil Peart may have a great basil pesto recipe. He does like an online cooking site. I mean, if anybody gets a chance, I can't remember what the Bubba it's not Bubba Gump, but it's Bubba some bullshit. So he may have a great recipe. Just to throw that out there.
All right. Well.
Yeah.
That concludes the interview, gentlemen.
All right, man. Thank you.
Honestly,
Wait,
though,
I have to talk about this beer.
Oh, yeah. Real quick.
So, over the weekend, I finally had a weekend day off. So, we were driving around. We went to Howe Caverns. It was lovely.
Ah.
Yeah, I've never been. It was fun. And then on the way back, we stopped by West Kill Brewing out in the Catskills. They're not too far from Hunter Mountain. Fan-fucking-tastic brewery.
Really?
And it just feels like you're driving to someone's house to drink beer. I just saw a sign
never
out
felt that in my
on
life.
the main drag. There was like a sign that said like
I was super happy, huh?
beer, West Kill Brewing, cheeseburgers, and I was like, let's stop there on the way back. And then it's like we make the left. We make the left.
It looks like wood burning or something like
And
that.
then it's like 5 miles of just back gravel roads to get to this place, and it's called Moon Farmer Northeast IPA.
Great looking can.
Some fantastic art. The art on the label, original artwork by Kit Clark. And this is bursting with tropical fruit, forward hops, and hazy notes of pineapple, peach skins, and passion fruit with a soft, pillowy finish. And that is a perfect description of what this tastes like. It is a fantastic IPA. So if you're ever in the area, it's around Hunter Mountain. Like if you just take 28 towards Howe Caverns, you'll get there. It's not that far off the beaten path, but about 4 miles. You're at like 4.5 miles in. You're like, are we going the right way? Because I feel like I'm in someone's driveway. And then you pull up, and there's just dogs running around off leashes, and just a couple of random cats.
Were they barking at you?
No, they just come up and just like, can you pet me, please? And then you pet them, and then you go inside, and everyone has a beard, and it was just a really nice place. Yeah, it was a really nice place. So I invited them to come on the show and to participate in Creator Fest next year.
Fuck yeah!
Which they're perfect for it. They're a very, very small craft brewery. A couple of the brewers were originally from Brooklyn. They moved up to help some friends out up here. So
that's why they had beards.
Yeah.
Wait, you're saying there were brewers from Brooklyn?
No. So one of the brewers.
Is this a thing?
One of the brewers
Wait,
is
from Brooklyn Brewing?
No.
Oh.
From Brooklyn, the place.
Okay.
I can't imagine anyone from Brooklyn would be brewing.
Yeah. So he came up to help out some friends, and maybe they'll tell the story on the show. But I definitely invited them to come and have a booth at Creator Fest. And if they don't email me, I'll be hounding them because their beer is fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah, I tried everything they had, and really, really good shit. Also, by the way, you guys should play Creator Fest next year. That'd be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Love to.
We did a little festival in the vacant lot next to the Crafted Cup on Raymond Avenue.
Yeah.
At 44 Raymond Avenue, Poughkeepsie.
We forgot to
yeah,
mention
you guys
Crafted
would fit in
Cup
great,
there.
man.
Yeah.
I'd love to have you there next year.
Love to do it.
So bring your ponchos because it's probably gonna rain.
Yeah, rained all day this year.
It rained all day this time, but we did okay.
Yeah, it was fine.
I think we did very well considering.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're Adam. If you haven't noticed, Adam's been compiling a list of possible show titles. We all get to,
You get to weigh in. I mean, your opinion doesn't really matter that much, but I'll listen.
If you hear something,
we're gonna weigh in on what we're gonna name this fucking episode.
Right. So we've got It Spared Me from some VD or something.
Remember that one.
Pirate metal.
Kind of like it.
70s porn. You got it.
That's good.
D and Zima.
Oh, what a combination!
Yeah, and this is going to be D ampersand Zima.
Yeah.
And then all of this is uncomfortable for me.
I particularly enjoy that one.
I like that last one.
I'm going with pirate metal or D and Zima.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with either. Absolutely. I'm going to go with D&D and Zima if I have any say in this. Taking into account.
That's how you feel. What do you feel?
D&D and Zima sounds good.
Yeah. Which is fine with me.
What do you think, Bosch? I feel like you're thinking pirate metal.
No, I'm at yeah.
Well, you can hashtag pirate metal.
I'm gonna hashtag pirate metal.
All right.
I really
All
like
right.
all of this is very uncomfortable for me, but that's a long one. I can't.
Let's hashtag pirate metal.
D&D
and let's
and
go
Zima.
D&D and Zima.
All right.
Cool. Thanks for having us, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you
was
guys.
great.
This was great, man.
It was
It was a lot of fun. I love your music.
Thanks so much.
I love how unique it is. Just absolutely keep it up. Don't change. Well,
Also,
change
would
a
you
little
guys
bit.
be willing, not soon, but in the future,
Well, I have to take my top
to
off.
write a rock opera about Ryan?
Oh shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
That sounds
Yeah,
sure.
that's what I want. Even just one
Those are
song.
really quick answers.
Yeah, because the first thing I thought
Make an EP.
was I want them to write a song that's called The Ballad of Ryan Bosch. And I don't care what that song is, but I think it'd be amazing.
Yeah. Send over
Yeah.
the files.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send you some history notes.
Yeah. No, we're gonna give it a look. We're gonna take a good hard look at this.
Jesus Christ. Well, if you want to check these guys out, it's thewarptheweft.com. Also, facebook.com/thewarptheweft. Check them out July 27th at the Anchor in Kingston, and also August 4th at O Positive Festival in Poughkeepsie. That should be a giant heap of bands at that one. So, yeah. Again, thanks a lot, guys.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. We're all going to stick around, and we're going to do plugs.
Yeah,
we're
we're
gonna
not gonna
remember
fucking forget.
to do plugs for the first time in probably 4 weeks.
And the people listening at home have already heard them, so they know that we followed through.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.
See you kids next week.
you got to do that. Right?
Yeah. See you kids. Who we got next week?
Next week we have old Logs Callahan and
For No One. Very cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
All
You
right.
remember before when you were saying how people like don't acknowledge their backing band? That's like old Logs Callahan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be old Logs and those other guys.
Yeah, the blurry guys.
All right. For real this time. Goodbye.